Hello everyone, my name is Razin, and welcome back to Let's Play Kyuuyaku Megami Tensei 2. Last time we visited the Forest of Confusion, the next step on our journey, but we didn't actually make any forward progress plot-wise. We actually took a little detour to Mitra's tower, defeated Mitra all the way up at the top, and our reward for that was getting the best armor in the game, the Lucifer armor. Unfortunately, it's not going to be something everyone's going to be able to take advantage of because you do have, well, for one thing, only the main character can use it, Takuma. And also, it is actually stat-locked, so if you haven't been putting points into intelligence, you're not going to be able to use it. Went back to Bale's Castle here to do some money grinding at the slot machine. Was able to get the jackpot, the 3 golden masks, which rewards you with 50,000 Maka and a Soma, which is very useful. It's a full heal, and it also restores all of your MP. Very, very good item. Unfortunately, you're going to see that when we buy the Yakut leg here, 50,000 Maka doesn't go very far. You're actually going to need 2 jackpots if you really want to be able to afford that thing, and you're starting from nothing, which is a bummer. Now, I know I've complained about this before, and I don't want to sound too much like a broken record. I feel like I repeat myself a lot in these playthroughs sometimes, and I apologize for that, but sometimes points are worth repeating. So, yeah, I really disagree with the developers' pricing of endgame equipment in this game. And it's really unfortunate, too, because I feel like the start of this game is already very stop-and-go in terms of forward progress and having to stop and grind to upgrade your characters, and in terms of level grinding for, you know, just not only better stats, but being able to fuse stronger demons. But then on top of that, too, you also need to worry about being able to afford equipment early on in the game, so it takes a while before this game really kicks off, and but once it hits its stride, it's pretty smooth sailing. And then it reaches a point where, towards the end of the game here, if you want to upgrade your characters, you are going to need to take some time to grind up for money, and I just think it's a bummer. They really dropped the ball towards the end here. But enough about that. What I was referring to last episode, you may have heard me alluding to a bad thing that happened when you walk towards the castle, and it's this. Don't you hate it when you're walking through a field of flowers, and suddenly you feel drowsy, and a giant naked man with wings and a sword flies down on a serpent and kidnaps your buddy? Just not a good time. Hate when that happens. This is just like the Wizard of Oz, but more demonic. And actually, I don't think anyone got kidnapped in Wizard of Oz. Did anyone get kidnapped when they all fell asleep in Wizard of Oz? I don't remember. It's been probably a decade and a half since I've seen that movie. And also, I appreciate the narrator at the end there. The narrator at the end there going, "You need to rescue Asuka." Like, you know, I kind of think I got that from the scene I just watched. You didn't need to clarify that for me, narrator, but thanks for the tip, buddy. So, if we go into our comp and attempt to summon another demon to take Asuka's place, you are going to find that you are unable to do so. You are limited to only having 4 demons out in your party at a time, but, you know, that's fine. We have some pretty powerful allies as is, even without Asuka, but it's actually one thing I want to talk about here a little bit as I proceed to not rescue Asuka and make my way towards a weird side thing. So yeah, as we make our way over there, I just want to say, 9 times out of 10, when I'm experiencing any form of fiction and they do the damsel in distress thing, I kind of roll my eyes. Most of the time, I think it's just, first of all, I think it's overdone. And a lot of the times it just reduces characters I otherwise really like to, like, plot objects that kind of become an obstacle for other characters, and it just usually rubs me the wrong way, and I just think it's stupid. And whenever it occurs in something I'm playing or watching or reading or whatever, I'm just like, really? You couldn't think of anything else to do for a challenge for the characters? Like, it just always rubs me the wrong way. But I do think it is interesting in this game, at least mechanically speaking. It's kind of dumb story-wise, but mechanically speaking, we're at a point in the game where we're very used to having 2 human party members. You know, Asuka is kind of a pillar of the party in terms of being able to cast supportive magic, being able to heal, utility magic, all that stuff. So when we reach an endgame dungeon like this, where she's suddenly gone and we're not able to rely on her after kind of basing a lot of our strategy around here, you know, you feel the impact of her loss, which is really, really interesting. So I do think that at least taking one of your 2 party members out of commission here makes for an interesting gameplay challenge. Story-wise, I think it's just a little goofy. Now, what I've done here is I have gone warped out of the Forest of Confusion, and I just did that because I wanted to make my way back to this cavern system right closer to the start here. It was just faster for me to do this instead of retroactively retracing my steps through the caverns we already walked through. And this is actually one hidden thing I missed on my initial playthrough of this game when I was doing it for research. I didn't know about this. I actually stumbled onto this while looking up other stuff about the game just because I wanted to double check something. If you go all the way back to this cavern system, specifically in this time frame where Asuka is not in the party, it is very easy to miss this because you have a very narrow window to actually do this. You're gonna run into this lady, and you're gonna have a very interesting conversation. Oh, there we go. We don't need to rescue Asuka anymore. Girl number 2. But no. Why not? If you want to join my party, crush this rock. So yeah. If you stumble onto this cave in this very specific moment of the game, you get yet another free demon. Susanoo is just going to join her party now, and he's pretty good, though. If I recall, he's not as good as the other demons I have in my party, so I don't know if I really use him that much. But, you know, if you're playing through, and, you know, he's not bad. He's not bad. He's definitely a good reserve unit to have. I don't know if I ever end up actually using him, but he could be useful in a pinch. Though, if you haven't been playing like how I have and being very optimal, I'm sure he's a pretty solid demon for this point in the game. So yeah, I'm gonna walk our way back out of here. But yeah, this was the moment that really cemented for me, like, damn, there are just so many hidden elements of this game that the developers crammed in here, and I really love it. There's just so many tiny little details like that, and again, it is another case of the game maybe undermining its own fusion mechanic again a bit by just giving you another freebie demon, but you have to know where it is first, right? This is something I kind of like to refer to in these games as like playground fodder. Like, this is something you would hear on the playground, some other kid who's playing the game along with you would say, and you'd be like, that sounds fake, but let me go check it out, and it turns out to be real. I think I've made this comparison before, but it's some real, like, Pokemon, like, oh, Mew is under the truck at the SSN type bullshit. This game is wonderful at doing that sort of thing, but there's just so many little things hidden in this game's nooks and crannies that it really helps make it feel like a fleshed out world. I know I've complained before that the second half of the game, I feel like the demon world, because it's so segmented out and you progress through it in such a more like linear, traditional JRPG order, it doesn't feel as alive to me as Tokyo does in this game, but even here, they do manage to squeeze in some cool side areas to do if you want to do them, and they do manage to squeeze in a few more cool hidden stuff to do, which I respect a lot, and is definitely one of the things that I'll leave this game continuing to think about. You know, this is going to be that game in the back of my mind that I think, oh yeah, Megami Tensei 2, that's the game with all the cool secrets in it. It really left an impression on me. It is a good game. I have gripes with it, but this is a very good game, and in many ways it's a very interesting game for what it's trying to do and the time it came out. So yeah, now that we managed to do that, let's save up our game here, and we are ready to take on our next challenge. Well, first we're going to heal up. Fortunately, healing is not going to be too much of a problem with how much money we still got on hand. Even after we spent an arm and a leg to get some new kicks for our main character here. I think this happened with Bale's Castle too. They use the same exact image, but I just want to point out, it's so weird to me that like they're like, oh, go to the castle, but it really just looks like a modern city or building almost. Like it kind of looks like a castle, but it has like lights coming off of it in a way that's very interesting to me too. So yeah, we are here at Astaroth's castle, and it is fairly standard affair once again for a dungeon in this game. Again, we are going to be dealing with tougher enemies than what we've seen before, but I don't think there's anything too out of the ordinary here, though there is a succubus, so be careful about getting de-leveled. And actually, I feel like there's a few demons in this area that can actually de-level you. Oh, that's interesting. And it was a trap. Wonderful. And I gotta say, too, fighting these Dream Kiss enemies without having Asuka on hand to be able to hear you, too, from your status ailments, not a good time. These enemies are very frustrating to fight. Might be a good idea to stock up on, like, status effect healing items before jumping in here, too, actually. Some anti-paralysis stuff. See, they don't even give that much experience points. It's very disappointing. But there we go, we got an emerald out of it, so... wasn't a complete waste of time. Yeah, Paralanon is what you're looking for. If I recall, we're going to run to a few other enemies in this area that are a little bit of a pain in various ways. But, again, nothing you shouldn't be able to handle, even though you're down a party member. That's really where most of the difficulty comes from. See, like right here, it would have been so nice to just use Asuka's electricity spells, and this Hydra encounter would have been nothing. Unfortunately, we are going to have to fight a little watery demon boy with fire spells and just brute force physical attacks, which is going to be a little bit of a bummer. But Hydras are not as threatening as they were in other points in the game by this point, so... like you can see, they're whittling away at our party here, but they're not the terrifying threat they once were. We have beefed up substantially since then. Though they can still poison you, which is kind of a bummer. Just annoying to deal with. Still very good experience, though, so that's nice. It helps that they come into a large group. The narrator got really weird like, this game's narrator has always been a little quirky in my opinion, but the narrator for this game got real weird as soon as Asuka left. Maybe it was something in those sleep fumes. And here's Medusa, which, if I recall, Medusa can, in fact, petrify you. Let me just double-check that real fast since we're here. Megami Tensei 2... Medusa. And let me look at the stats. Yeah, I believe Glare, yep, causes damage and causes the stone effect to an enemy. Can also cause you to panic, and also has Agirama. So, oh wait, no, whoops, that's the wrong type of demon. That was from Megami Tensei 1. Yeah, Megami Tensei 2 just has poison gas and glare. So damage and poison and damage and stone effects to an enemy. So yeah, just be a little careful of that. Uh-oh. We're hearing screams now. Was the aquamarine screaming? What was the deal with that? Keep making our way through Astaroth's fancy little castle as we continually die of poison. It's fine. If RPGs have taught me anything, it's that being poisoned isn't that big of a deal if you're a very healthy individual. You know, you can stomach it for a little bit before going to the hospital. That's a joke, by the way. If there's anyone who's young and watching this, if you get poisoned, please call the poison helpline of your place of residence as soon as you can. It's a very serious issue. Don't try to outman poison. That's a very stupid thing to do. Fought Mephisto here, which I believe is actually another demon that can level you down. I'm checking the wiki again. Yeah, energy drain. Lowers the level of a human target. So, oh wait, no, that's once again from Megami Tensei 1. God damn it, I keep doing that. No, in Megami Tensei 2, Mephisto cannot actually cause you to level down, which is nice. So, maybe it is just Succubus in this area that you have to watch out for that. But what Mephisto can do is put you to sleep with 2 different types of attacks and inflict panic on you, so that's not great. Once again, I believe I said this in the first playthrough, but Mephisto, or Mephistopheles, is probably my favorite demon in, like, a not necessarily a Megami Tensei sense, but like just a broader, like, folklore or like legend or like mythology sense. I've always really liked the story of Faust and kind of just have been compelled by the concept of a Faustian pact throughout my life. I just find it a very interesting parable about the human condition and what people are willing to do to benefit in the short term without, while knowing that it's going to fuck them over in the long term. And what happens when they are then forced to face those consequences after, over time. I think it's a very human story, It's I think it's very relatable to a lot of people. I think we all have that flawed side of ourselves that will do something for the betterment of the now and the present, while knowing that this is going to cause complications later on down the line for our lives. I think that's a very familiar weakness for a lot of people. Unfortunately, Takuma is once again poisoned, but everyone else seems to be fine now at least, so that's nice. Got a luck incense from that treasure, which is good. So, this is an interesting encounter. I'm just going to let this play out, and I'll just let you feel the frustration that exuded from me as I stared blankly at like 1 a.m. at my TV screen recording this. I remember this encounter vividly. Just blankly staring at the screen, asking when is it going to end? When are they going to run out of MP? When are they going to stop healing? They have to run out of MP eventually, right? This can't last forever. They can't keep doing this. At some point I'm going to overpower them, and this wouldn't have been a complete waste of time, right? Like, surely soon this encounter is going to be over. They can't heal again on their next turn. Oh, no. Well, they're healing again on their next turn. They just keep healing, just every single time. God, I'm tired of seeing the green bubbles game. I'm getting really... I'm about done with this. You can't just keep doing this and expect me to keep auto-battling all the time, but I keep doing it because I'm an idiot. Do it one more time, I dare you. I dare you. No, never mind. I'm not even going to let you. I'm going to take my ball. I'm going to go home. Not even worth it. Not even worth it. Anyways, now that that's out of the way, let's continue progressing in the dungeon. That's the real boss of this area, goddamn. Whew. Getting pretty close to the end, fortunately. Already on the 5th floor. Now we're going back down to the 4th floor. I'm going up and down and all around in this dungeon. It's like a fun house. I must have looked at my map and decided this is not a room I feel like diving into. I believe some of those rooms are just outright traps, too, if I recall correctly. Where those messages are. Like, they don't all have good stuff in there, if I recall. Though there are quite a few good treasure chests in this castle, at least. And that is one good thing to keep in mind, too, is having a lot of jewels, because your main healer is going to be out of commission, is going to work wonders for this dungeon. I think this is a good point in the game to use those jewels if you have all 10 stored up. You can always grind for more later. Alright, so, this guy... Oh, that's fucked up, dude. But, this guy is a tough time. Astaroth, much like in Megami Tensei 1, is a serious foe that we're going to be encountering in the late game here. Now, I'm going to auto-battle this at past a point, but this guy hits hard. It's going to cost me quite a bit doing it that way. Fortunately, we still have the Vajra sword equipped, so we are going to be doing quite a bit of damage with Takuma. That is one thing I will say, at this point in the game too especially, Takuma's going to be your main powerhouse against bosses. Just shreds through them like paper with his more powerful melee attacks, so prioritize healing the main character if you have to decide who you want to heal in the party. It should always be Takuma first. Well, obviously, too, you should be doing that anyways, because if Takuma dies in this situation, it's game over, because we don't have Asuka as a buffer. Takuma is the only human left in the party, so once he goes, you're just done. So, just keep that in mind, and keep wailing on him, and just be careful. But, yeah, he's not going to go down without a fight. He has some pretty nasty attacks at his disposal that are going to do pretty good damage to the party. And see, we got him down quite a bit, though, but, yeah, Callie's taking some damage there. Probably could have took the time to heal these two, but I figured, I'm so close to the end of the fight, why bother? And unfortunately, already down to, well, damn, before I could even finish the sentence, already down to just one demon, but we were able to close out the fight there. Kind of a war of attrition. That was kind of a close call, but we made it work. And Takuma still had a pretty good amount of health left, too, so that was nice. And there we go, we got another orb, which means we're going to be able to, well, first of all, rescue Asuka, and then hightail it right out of this forest. We are getting pretty close to the end here. Only so many episodes left, and, yeah, what can I say other than the game gets even more interesting than it already has. This last stretch of story is, it goes places if you're going down the good ending route, so we'll see what the deal with that is, and we'll continue our little adventure in the demon world next time in Let's Play Kyuuyaku Megami Tensei 2. Have a good night, everyone.